I'm not sure I can think of a better game to celebrate the life and legacy of John Madden on than Madden NFL 25, celebrating 25 years of Madden NFL football through its many ups and many downs, as you know. But Madden 25 came out in 2013. It would have been the Madden 14 game, but they called it Madden 25 to celebrate the 25 years of the Madden franchise. So what are they going to call Madden 25 when we get to 2024? Yeah, I don't know. But here we are on Madden 25, and this was a really, really good game. This is one of my favorite Maddens probably of all time. I just loved the way the gameplay felt back when I was kind of a gameplay guy, and that might be unpopular, but it was just a fun game to play. I especially liked Ultimate Team at the time, but yeah, that's not what we're focusing on in today's video because, as you'll see, you can't even get into Ultimate Team because the EA servers are forever down on Madden 25, Madden 15. I think they're probably shut off on games before Madden 18 now. I'm not even sure. And look at this, team play, online 3v3 games. That sounds familiar. I don't actually even know what that is. I don't think I've ever played that before. Now, I think ideally I would like to do some sort of fantasy draft on this game, but the problem becomes I'm not even sure if fantasy draft was on this game. There is a Madden around this time. It may have been Madden 13. Remember the game face? Yeah, what a disaster. We'll choose John Madden again. That's not even an option. We have Art Rooney, who I can't get, and Eddie DiBartolo Jr., who I also can't get. Guess I'll just select a random NFL owner. I'll probably do the lowest overall team. I've been doing a couple videos rebuilding the lowest overall team, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. We'll choose the Raiders. They're 75. Mark Davis haircut. So beautiful to look at. But as I was saying, I don't know if Fantasy Draft is on this game because they took it out around one of these games. And at the time, I'm like, this is so stupid. I probably used a different set of words at the time. I probably said, oh, this is unbelievably disappointing. I didn't necessarily expect better, but I sure would have appreciated it. I think you will have a fantasy draft on this, but I'm not. Wow, that looks even better in game. I'm not sure that you do. You do. Okay, cool. So I've rebuilt the lowest overall team on Madden 15, on Madden 19, but that's not what we're doing on Madden 25. I'm starting my fantasy draft, probably picking near the bottom. That's where it usually is. Oh, top 10. Not bad. And we'll kind of reminisce on some of the best players in the league at this time and try to build a great team and rebuild that team. So Aldon Smith is here. RG3 was the number 8 pick. Joe Flacco just ahead of him. Great company. Drew Brees went to Dallas. He is from Texas. We have Tom Brady to the Colts at number 5. Aaron Rodgers to the Bucks at number 4. J.J. Watt to the Texans. Pretty good scheme fit there at number 3. The second overall pick was Peyton Manning. Cam Newton goes number 1 overall to the Vikings. But this video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. But I've been enjoying this a lot lately, and I wish a lot of you guys would come play with me because there are ways to play with you guys. So not only do you have this massive tournament, over 100,000 entrants already, $500,000 in prizes with $75K to first place, and it's their best ball game mode. They also have another massive tournament, Best Ball Mania 3, with 10 million in prizes. I can create a draft with you guys. Hit create private draft. It'll cost maybe $3 for this one, and then all of you guys can join in and draft with me. But please click the link in the description, go to underdogfantasy.com, or download the Underdog app, and it's super important to use code BENGAL for that deposit match up to $100. That is code BENGAL on underdogfantasy.com and the Underdog Fantasy app. Code BENGAL when you sign up, and they'll deposit match up to $100. And yes, you guessed it, that is with code BENGAL. That strong safety, yeah, I knew we were going to see one of my favorites ever, Adrian Wilson. Don't get to talk about him enough, but loved Adrian Wilson growing up. He's a little bit older now at 33. Probably steer away from him, but you can see Troy Polamalu, Cam Chancellor, Rashad Jones, and he led the league in interceptions around this time, or it was real close. Bernard Pollard, Daniel Manning, the fourth Manning brother, Eli, Cooper, Peyton, and of course Danielle. Young Eric Berry. At free safety, the highest overall free safety is Jarius Byrd. We have Eric Weddle, Deshaun Goldson, Devin McCourty, Earl Thomas, Hook'em Horns, got to throw that up. Always will. Kerry Rhodes, Antoine Bethea, Ed Reed. Look how old Ed Reed is. 34 years old. Another Texas legend, Michael Huff. The corners, I mean, this is just a great era of cornerbacks. Richard Sherman, Pat Pete, Darrell Revis. We have Charles Tillman, Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden was so good. I feel like he doesn't get respected enough for how good he was. Antonio Cromartie. Brandon Flowers was so good around this time with the Chiefs. Where's my guy Champ Bailey? Second favorite player of all time. He is into his 30s now, 35 years old. So not being valued too highly, but I'll try to draft him if I can. We have Clay Matthews, Robert Mathis, Hook'em Horns, Brian Arakpo, Lance Briggs. Lance Briggs was really good. Gerard Mayo was really good. Dwight Freeney, Tom Bahali, Levante David, very young. Trent Cole, John Beeson was so good. Why is he being undervalued? Is it because he's closer to 30, 28? Maybe so. John Beeson was so sick with the Panthers around this time, though. Middle linebacker, of course, one of my favorites ever as well. Patrick Willis, Texas legend Derek Johnson, NaVorro Bowman, B-Wags. Young Bobby Wagner would be really cool to have. Brian Cushing was a maniac, going crazy on steroids. I love Darrell Washington. There's so many good players we'll have the opportunity to draft. It's going to be really difficult to make some of these decisions here. Young D'Amico Ryans. Because he's not that young. I thought he was younger around this time. No, he would have been a rookie in like 2008 or something like that. Close. Von Miller. Yeah, this is what? This is 2014. So, okay. So, rookies would be like Jadeveon Clowney, Khalil Mack in this game. Or would that be the next game? Because is this... No, it should be. We should have Jadeveon Clowney here. Okay, no, so it is 2013 rookies. Because Barkevius Mingo's here. You know what's funny? I actually mentioned Corey Lemonier in a video I recorded earlier today. Unbelievable. Jason Worlds quit football to become a Jehovah's Witness. He was actually a beast. Alec Ogletree was actually good early on in his career. With the Giants, he was horrific. It's another anecdote. I saw Stephen Tulloch tore his ACL on a sack celebration. Von Miller, T. Sizzle, Justin Houston, Lamar Woodley, James Harrison, Chad Greenway used to be really good for a while. Ryan Kerrigan, look at the flow, look at the lettuce. Ahmad Brooks, quite good. Paris Harrelson. Forgot about Paris Harrelson. Justin Durant was pretty good with the Jags too. The defensive line, Geno Atkins I expected to see. We're not going to see Aaron Donald in the NFL at this time, but we do see Big Vince, Ndamukong Suh, Marcel Darius, Jarrell Casey, Kevin Williams, one half of the Williams wall. Kevin was, I would say, definitely better than Pat. I don't even know where Pat's going to be. Probably down this board a little bit. Not Dan Williams. Where is Pat Williams? Henry Melton, Texas Legends. Same deal with Casey Hampton. I don't even see Pat Williams. He could have retired by this point, to be fair to him. Vaughn Martin, I do not remember. It's got to be like the first player I've seen that I do not know. Haloti Nada, DeMarcus Ware. How old is he now? Into his 30s, surely. 31. JPP is only 24. He would have been coming off his like 16 and a half sack season or 15 and a half, something like that. Justin Smith is probably one of the more underrated players of all time. I'll say it. He got no love. Was good on the Bengals, was great on the Niners. Cameron Wembley was decent for a minute. Jared Allen. Why is he such a low overall? I understand that he wasn't like the guy he used to be, but Jared Allen was surely productive at age 31. Was coming off a 12-sack Pro Bowl year, put up 11 and a half sacks in 2013. I don't know. Feels a bit rude to me. Like an 82 overall is just so bad. Cameron Wake was so good. Now his experience is only 4, but he's probably about 30 at this time. 31. Played in the CFL. Was just not that good coming out of Penn State, but made a career in the CFL and ended up being a beast in the NFL for a while. A lot of really good players in here. Mario Williams feels a little disrespected too. Lamar Houston, Brian Robeson, back-to-back Texas guys. Lamar Houston follows me on Twitter. Not really a brag, but it is true. Every offensive lineman pretty much is just like an 85 overall or right around it. Eric Fisher and Luke Jokel, both 85 overalls coming out. and they were both not good. Fisher significantly better than Luke Jokel, but he was the #1 overall pick. He didn't really live up to that at all. Like Lane Johnson was also a rookie here, right? Way better. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. The future Hall of Famer Marshall Yanda, Devin Joseph, Jari Evans, Giants legend Chris Snee, John Asamoah was really good for a minute. That's right. Chance Warmack was pretty bad. Alex Mack. This whole draft class, by the way, is pretty bad. Just so you know. The only, like, real stud that comes to mind, I'm sure there are more, but DeAndre Hopkins was the first one. Definitely some really good iconic centers, like Nick Mangold, the Pouncey twins. Left guard's going to be Micah Potty. Logan Mankins was so good for a minute. This was another really good time for offensive linemen. I feel like these are well-known guys, like Josh Sitton, Carl Nix, Evan Mathis, Ben Grubbs, Logan Mankins, Micah Potty were really well-known. Texas legend, Justin Blaylock. They're all legends. All you have to do is play for Texas. That's the requirement. Young Tyron Smith, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Joe Thomas, Jordan Gross. I mean, this is such a good time for offensive linemen. It really, really was. Nate Solder before he was horrific with the Giants. Tight ends, I might have to take Vernon Davis pretty early. Love Vernon Davis, dude. Vernon Davis was so sick. Hybrid receiver, tight end, basically. 90 speed at the position. He was the modern tight end before the modern tight end, I would say. And look at Gronk. Young Gronk. Very good as well. Receivers, we got Brandon Marshall, Larry Fitz. I don't know why you would take Brandon Marshall or Larry Fitzgerald over Calvin Johnson. That seems like utter nonsense to me, especially when Calvin's only 27. Like, that's just ridiculous. Andre Johnson, one of my favorites of all time. This is just a really nostalgic period of the NFL for me. Like, I guess before this, I would say Julio. Can't skip the fullbacks. Vontae Leach, Mike Tolbert, Marcel Reese. Bunch of really good fullbacks. Jerome Felton led the way for Adrian Peterson. John Kuhn, a legend. LaRon McClain rushed for over 900 yards in a season. The Hinoceros, Henry Hynoski. What a group of guys. And at running back, we got Adrian Peterson. When he was in his late 20s, 28 years old, still a monster. This would be coming off of his unbelievable season. Shady, Marshawn, Arian Foster, who I met. Super nice guy. Ray Rice, CJ2K, Jamal Charles, Hook'em Horns. I mean, look at this group. Look at how highly rated Trent Richardson is. He wasn't awful as a rookie. The Colts traded a first-round pick to get him after the Browns spent, I believe, the #3 or #4 overall pick on him. Reggie Bush, Frank Gore is still old here. We'll go on to play another 10 years. And then at quarterback, we've seen the guys, Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, Big Ben, Eli, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick had a lot of potential at this time. And, yeah, it's kind of a big fall off after that. I don't know how I want to approach this. I just did a whole video with Adrian Peterson, so I might look to avoid that. But it's tempting, dude. It really is. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to prioritize the young quarterback, and he's retired at this point, so I'm going to go with Andrew Luck. Welcome to the Raiders, Andrew Luck. Cameron Wembley just went. All right, so a lot of really good players are off the board. Tony Gonzalez, we didn't even talk about. Vernon Davis. I mean, Darrelle Revis is off the board. The top corners are going to be gone. Patrick Willis. The top tackles, maybe. Top running backs will be off the board. Calvin should be long gone by this point. But I had to prioritize the quarterback, I think. And I don't think I would do it any other way. Adrian Peterson went the next pick. The corners are going to start to go off the board, but I don't want to take anyone that's too old. Like, I don't want Vontae Davis, who retired at halftime. I don't really want any of these corners right now. Like, Stephon Gilmore is sick, right? But he's not that good at this moment. Cam Chancellor would kind of be really cool. A lot of the top receivers are gone. Percy Harvin would be really awesome if we can develop him, because he can't get concussions in the game. And I'm not even making a joke at that. I'm just being dead serious, because that was the problem with Percy Harvin. He just could not get concussions and migraine headaches, and he was always injured. I'm going to take Percy Harvin. Kind of a cool player around this time. Was a beast at Florida, and he will be a Raider. All right, some good running backs just went off the board. I was thinking about taking CJ2K. Reggie Bush, probably not worth taking at this time. It's 28. I'm not going to take Trent Richardson or the muscle hamster, the Duggernaut. I'm not going to take Matt Forte. There's only 27 at this time, so it's not really that bad. I'm not going to take Stephen Ridley. I don't love the running backs available. I'm going to level with you. Give me Antonio Cromartie. He is a little bit older, but he's still really good. And he, as a 95 overall corner, I don't really think you can go wrong there. Trey Wingo, no more Giants for Eli. Not a fan of this fantasy draft business. Can you say that in any more of an older man fashion? Cam Chancellor's off the board. That's probably who I would have drafted at this point. Earl Thomas also off the board. Rashad Jones would not be bad. He's what, 27? You know what, let me get Bobby Wagner. So young, so talented. Let's get B-Wags. One of the best linebackers in the NFL during the 2010s. He was really, really good. But you guys know that. I mean, he still plays. He's just not quite as good as he once was. Which, I mean, that's to be expected. He's older now. Into his 30s. I'm thinking about John Beeson, to be honest. Darrell Washington's here. Can I save? I'd love for my linebacking core to be Darrell Washington, John Beeson, Bobby Wagner. But that means passing on Levante David. Jarrell Casey I just had, but he's kind of an obvious one. Marcel Darius is quite good. I want a big-time pass rusher. I think some of these overalls are because of scheme fits. I think it has me in a 3-4 maybe, and that's why Robert Quinn is such a crappy overall. But Robert Quinn would be so good. He put up like 18 sacks one season around this time. Saw Cam Jordan. I wouldn't be opposed to rocking out with him. Alfred Morris, I feel like just came out of nowhere. Eric Berry would also be sick. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a player maybe a little bit earlier than I should. I think John Beeson's going to be there. Give me Darrell Washington. I know I just had him, but Darrell Washington's sick, and most people probably don't even remember him. So let me show him some love. D-Wash, welcome to the squad. Eric Berry's still on the board. John Beeson's the last outside linebacker available here, or the first one. So I think if I want him, I got to take him right now. And we're going to go ahead and draft John Beeson. Again, was so sick. Another really underappreciated player, just because his prime wasn't super long. And I am prioritizing defense here, but that's okay. Please, Eric Berry, still be available. He is. I'm taking Eric Berry. Like, I don't know why Adrian Wilson just went before him. Give me Eric Berry. He was such a beast. And afraid of horses. Fun fact. Ooh, Aqib Talib would have been a really good pick. Ooh, Michael Griffin. I saw Quentin Jammer too, but he's like 34. My Texas bias coming all in. But Eric Reed. Eric Reed could be good. I think I'm probably done with safeties for the time being. Used to love Terrell Brown. Mo Claiborne. Oh, man. Nnamdi Asomugha was so sick. But it got really bad around this time. D. Milner was a huge bust, out of the league so quickly. Don't love the corners on the board. My linebacking core, I would say, is good. I think we're done. And we're going to be playing in a 4-3. So I need some defensive linemen. Nick Fairley would not be terrible. Neither was Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy is probably the pick, right? Why is he being undervalued? Yeah, give me Gerald McCoy. Yeah, welcome to the team. That's an easy pick. So I haven't really done much on offense. I can see my draft picks. Started out on offense, and then every pick after that has been on defense. But we've built a really good defense. Don't have any real pass rush threats yet. Darrell Washington could come off the edge if I wanted to play in a 3-4. Because he should have decent rush moves. I guess he doesn't. And his development trait is 1. I don't think 1's good. 1 feels not good. Surely 3 is good. I don't... I think 3's got to be the best. But I still could use a running back. Antonio Brown is here. Before he went insane. Do I take Antonio Brown? Yeah, let's do it. He was such a good player right after this, and kind of around this time anyway. 5th round pick or so, broke out onto the scene. Why not? Michael Turner. Madden cover boy Peyton Hillis. Robert Quinn's still here. It's just a no-brainer. Give me Robert Quinn. I know it seems like his overall's really low. It definitely isn't. It's the thing at this time where the scheme was totally dependent on what their overall would be. And if I change the scheme, his overall is going to jump up significantly, I would bet. Cam Hayward's still on the board. That has potential. I'm still kind of leaning towards some of the younger players here. Chandler Jones is here. What is his true overall? Gotta be pretty high. I think I'm going to take Chandler Jones, you know. Ooh, young Sheldon Richardson. I'd like to come back for him. Let's go ahead and take Chandler Jones. So I have my edge rush duo. Sheldon Richardson would likely play defensive tackle for me. I want to get Sheldon Richardson, though. Is he going to be available? I think so. So defense, I think, is done. For the most part. Ooh, rookie Teron Armstead. There is potential here. But we got some really good offensive linemen. We're not even old either. Like, Teron Armstead's tempting. I think Lane Johnson's got to be the guy. The fact that he's still available. And you know what? If Orlando Franklin's still there when we come back, I'll take Orlando Franklin, and I'll just have my bookend offensive tackles. Michael Brockers is gone. I do have to be careful on Sheldon Richardson. I do not want to see him go off the board. And he is young, so he should have significant value. Marcus Gilbert is here. That really isn't bad. Geyser Sherilis could be good as well. Dude, rookie Travis Kelce and Tyler Eifert. Those would be kind of cool. Very young. Maybe I wait on them. I kind of want to get some of these older guys just because, like, you guys have seen Travis Kelce in recent Maddens. He's really good. Stephen Hill is probably so sick in Madden because he was just a height, weight, speed freak. It's like getting little Calvin Johnson, essentially. But if we can develop him, Stephen Hill could end up being amazing. I'm going to take Stephen Hill. He's definitely not good and was out of the league fairly quickly, if I recall, but could be very good for me. Oh my God, no Sean Marino from New Jersey. It's too early for no Sean. I don't really want to take a running back. I don't love who's here. Should I take Sebastian Vollmer for the Germans watching this video? I don't think so. I would. It's just that he's a little bit too old for how good he is, I think. Look at Jason Kelce. Looks very different, but it was a long time ago. Kenny Phillips is here. He was actually very good for the Giants for a while. Let me get Kenny Phillips. So I've got my safety duo. I think I'm going to take Sheldon Richardson now just to make sure that I get him. Don't want him to go randomly off the board, so I will take Sheldon Richardson. I think he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. We're very close to it. Mark Barron and Plaxico back-to-back. What a duo. Rashawn Mathis, he was an answer on a quiz I took today, but just did not recognize the picture as Rashawn Mathis, unfortunately, despite definitely knowing what he looks like, which is unfortunate. Cortez Allen, I mean, rookie Xavier Rhodes is not the worst idea. Let's take Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes closed, and they were for a while. He was really good. Matt Elam by the Packers, another big draft bust. Last pick of the first round, and he was not even worth that. Not even worth the last pick in the draft, probably, based on his play. All right, give me Tyler Eifert. I would take Travis Kelce, but we know how good Travis Kelce is. And Tyler Eifert, with not for being injured all the time, was really, really good. Is No Sean here? I'll take No Sean Marino. All right. Welcome to the team. Mike Adams, he got stabbed. That's what I remember about him. Not ideal. Jonathan Cooper is still here. I know he's so bad in real life, but surely the game doesn't know that. 82 overall rookie. I'll go with Jonathan Cooper. Take Jason Kelce as well. I don't think I've taken a center. I thought about it. Yeah, I didn't take one. We'll go Jason Kelce. All right, we'll take a stab at Mike Adams. Welcome to the team. Good start at left tackle for us. Offensive line has almost come together. I just need a starting right guard. I haven't taken one special teamer, and they are going off the board. Like, we're going to have some holes on this team for sure, but that's why it's a rebuild, right? I'm just trying to get young, somewhat competent starters in there. Earl Watford. That's a name I barely remember. He seems okay. He's only 23. All right, Earl Watford will be our starting right guard. Vontez Burfict to the Packers. I see Texas running backs coach Tashard Choice, and I'm interested. I am. We might wait on it. All these videos are just saying hook 'em horns as many times as I can. Did I take Eddie Royal? Eddie Royal was so sick. Again, another guy that people just forget about. Give me Eddie Royal, I think. It's just definitely not a great pick, unfortunately. Actually, give me 25-year-old Emmanuel Sanders. Let's go with Greg the Leg. Good value. Ooh, Zoltan Mesko. Lefty bomber. Let's take him. Dude, look at some of these backup running backs we could have. R.I.P. Joe McKnight. Joik Bell pre-dreads. LaMichael James. Oh, dude. I loved LaMichael James at Oregon. He was electric. I'm taking him. Ooh, Giants legend. Big Jonathan Hankins. Would end up on the Raiders. Kind of forgot about him, to be honest. Dude, Terrell Pryor before he switched to receiver. Mark Sanchez. R.I.P. Tavares Jackson. Dude, these games are tough. Hook 'em horns, Colt McCoy, by the way. But, like, I'm seeing all these guys that have just unfortunately passed away. We see Kirk Cousins in there as well. Some recognizable names. But, like, so many of these guys just have unfortunately died. And it's rough to see because it's random stuff. It's young guys. This is not that long ago. Do I have multiple corners? I don't think so. I drafted Xavier Rhodes. Well, I'm going to need another. Drake Kirkpatrick. That actually isn't awful. Parrish Cox is a name I remember quite a lot for some reason. Logan Ryan is a rookie. Brandon McGee. Brandon McGee, I swear to God, just looks like Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cox. Yeah, I mean, it really looks like a young Brandon Cooks. Same eyebrow action. Similar hairline, I suppose. And it's a little bit pixelated, too, so it literally just looks like a young Brandon Cooks. DeMarcus Van Dyke was a Madden legend. Dude could fly. Coverage, horrible. Play rec, horrible. 98 speed. I have drafted 4 receivers. Have I drafted 2 running backs yet? I have. LaMichael James. I have some pretty good depth at this point. Oh, Flash Goodwin. There's my return, man. I'm going to take DeMarcus Van Dyke because I think if we can develop him, he would actually be really good because he has insane speed, and you can't teach that. Oh, Syl Williams. He was a first-round pick. Could be a good backup defensive tackle. I mean, maybe he'll even start over Sheldon Richardson. I'm not sure. And I'll go with the rookie Logan Ryan, and I'll let the CPU handle the rest. I don't really care about setting hot dog prices, so what I want to do is change some positions around. And, I mean, the scheme fit, that's going to be a bit of a disaster for sure. Just got to figure that out. Because Robert Quinn is not a 72 overall. That's ridiculous. And he can only play left end or right end? Oh, no. Okay. That's right. On this game, you couldn't... So does that mean... No, tell me Darryl Washington can move to outside linebacker. Please, dude. He can't. He's locked at middle linebacker. Oh, my God. So the way you could get the overall to go up, Robert Quinn is now an 86 overall. That makes a lot more sense. Chandler Jones is up now because I made it speed rusher. So you look at what they are. His archetype is speed rusher. Chandler Jones is 3-4 versatile. And I'm going to throw him over at left end so I don't have to start Corey Wooton. But Chandler Jones is not a 3-4 versatile defensive end. So that doesn't really make any sense. But Robert Quinn's up to an 86. Chandler Jones is a 69 overall because it's 4-3 run stopper. Now it's a speed rusher. So I'll change that to speed rusher. And you'll see his overall will jump up significantly. Probably to the high 70s, but more likely low to mid 80s. Go to speed rusher. And then boom. He will be an 80-something overall probably. I would say probably close to what Robert Quinn is. Maybe not the exact same rating, but maybe an 84, 83. And he's an 81. That works. But now we're in an interesting spot where our linebackers don't really fit what we need. Like, I can't move John Beeson to inside linebacker. I can't move Darrell Washington to outside linebacker. I'm not sure if there's a moment when I can ever. In the depth chart, they'll be able to play the positions that they need to. But here, they're going to be in a weird spot for sure. So John Beeson, of course, a right outside linebacker. Bobby Wagner, Darrell Washington. But I don't want... Oh, hook 'em horns, Alex Okafor. I don't want Nick Roach starting. So Darrell Washington's a 90 overall middle linebacker, or it should be outside linebacker. So I can play him there. So it really actually isn't that big of a deal. We got Bill Bentley. Don't think I remember Bill Bentley. Kenny Phillips starting at free safety. Rodney McLeod. Strong safety, you guys know we got Eric Berry. Al Alfavola. Remember him. Percy Harvin should be a sick return man. And Antonio Brown, I guess. Third down back's going to be Percy Harvin. That's kind of sick, but also... Oh, Preston Parker. Dude. You guys won't remember because I'm not even sure if I was active on Twitter at the time. I probably have some horrible tweets up about Preston Parker. He might be the worst receiver I've ever seen on the Giants. Goodbye. I guess it's a good thing I got Syl Williams because otherwise... I don't know what we're going to do with Sheldon Richardson. I think in the depth chart, he'll be able to play defensive tackle, of course, but going to be a little bit weird to change that because I'll have to manually put him in every time, and if I ever auto-reorder the depth chart, he's not going to be playing. Only a 73 overall at defensive tackle here, so I guess I will start Syl Williams over him. Don't love it. Ooh, and we got Greg Jones in the auto draft. Love that. He was a beast. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and I'm checking out the archetypes of all the starters. And I'm going to go ahead and change that in the schemes. And that should maximize their overall. Will that change performance? I don't know, but I'm committed to it. All right, everything's set up except for kicker punter, which shouldn't matter. And how does that change the team? So John Beeson's up to a 91. Darrell Washington's up to an 89. Barry, I think, went down one. McCoy is to an 87. Kelsey's up to an 86. Quinn stays the same. Andrew Luck, I believe, stays the same. A lot of... they've gone up either marginally or not at all. Like, Eifert up 2. Lane Johnson might be down 1. Cooper might be down 1 or 2. But overall, I think it was worth it. So, we're going to leave as is. And... see what we can do. I'd like to know where we rank in terms of all teams, but of course it is a little early in the season to tell that. What is our overall here? So our offensive rank, they have us at 10, defensive at 23. I mean, let's just see how the first season goes. Can you not simulate in advance at this point? Do you literally have to go week by week at this time? Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. So we're 0-1. 83 offense, 84 defense. That doesn't feel bad to me. We'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, it is week by week on Xbox 360 simulation speeds. Jesus. And this is what the upgrades used to look like. We can't afford anything now. But I guess you literally... I mean, pretty much only upgrade the bare essentials and traits, which it seems like it costs quite a lot, and they were sponsored by stuff like Snickers Awareness. A little weird. See, again, this is kind of cool. I talked about this in the Madden 15 video, when the Jets cut LaRon McClain. That's tough. Ryan Feeney from Iowa just fooled everyone on a bootleg, so a little play action, basically, a little fake, a little rollout. And, like, they actually have him in a jersey that looks like Iowa. Makes the prospects feel more real when we hear about them on the season. It's on the front page, front and center. We are 2-1, by the way. Offense is not exactly caught up to the defense just yet. But we're developing. We're going to get it going. And we're 2-1. Like, this is a decent start. Not amazing, obviously, but decent. Also, I think scouting should be the same as it was on Madden 15. Oh, my goodness. It's Ben Bones. This is the Ben Bones draft class. Okay, so those who don't know Ben Bones, this isn't every draft class, but on Madden 25, the draft classes were predetermined, right? Maybe not all of them. I think all of them, honestly. And Ben Bones was the Bo Jackson clone. That is unbelievable. So if you've heard my outro, I haven't been including it lately because I think it hurts my watch time. A little YouTube meta there. But hit it out the park. Ben Bones, see me high step to the end zone. Two-way player like Bo Jackson. I did a series, very, very short series, where Ben Bones was on NCAA, where I did a career mode with Ben Bones. And this is what that's based off of. Ben Bones in the Madden 25 class. He is an unbelievable player. Like, he is the guy. I will do whatever it takes to get him. He is amazing at everything. Except for pass blocking, but we don't really need that. Like, I'm sure if we could even do throw power, they might have that in the game. He's going to have A everything. Overall is going to be an A. I mean, no shock there. The guy is just an absolute stud. Have to get Ben Bones. The fact that we're on Madden 25 and we got the Ben Bones draft class, I have to get him. And we need a running back anyway. Seahawks are averaging 9 points per game. Might try to get their first round pick. Make it easier to trade up to number 1. There's Percy Harvin. I forgot he signed that deal with the Seahawks. Wow. And the NFL, crazy place. They have Darrelle Revis, JPP, Earl Thomas. It's a pretty fun team. I'll give them a first round pick. They don't want Bill Bentley. That stinks. I mean, I guess I don't really want him either. All right, it's going to be a 1, a 3, and a 4. Gets me the Seahawks first round pick. And hopefully that ends up being a really, really good pick. We're doing pretty well. I don't really feel like there's a need to hold on to our pick. We're 2-2. Like, I get that. But at the same time, the Seahawks should be pretty bad based on their points per game. So I'm betting on them to be really bad the whole year. Man, Darrell Washington, 13K XP already. I think I'll buy big hitter trait. That might force more fumbles. We got extra XP, so I guess we might as well. Speed upgrade costs 31K. Injury costs 73K. Jumping's 106. Who's buying these? Might be nice to get him up to quick development as well. Maybe I'll hold on to my XP. We don't need to be great this year. We just need to be better than the Seahawks. Where's dev trait for Eric Berry? Did I miss it? Just not an option? You can't upgrade Eric Berry's dev trait? I don't think so. I see big hitter. See play ball trait. Might just go all into zone coverage. It takes forever. You have to go one by one by one. 7-7 at week 16. So not the best, not the worst. But again, this is not about winning the Super Bowl year 1 with the fantasy draft. We would have just taken the oldest, best players and had a real win now approach. But we're building a team that's going to be sustainable and successful over time. And we're going to get Ben Bones and then win the Super Bowl is my goal. So I think we're going to miss the playoffs year 1. You got to sign a Chiefs scout. It was a different time. We went, let's see here. Where's record? Is it on the home screen? I would imagine. Yes, it is. We went 8-8, finishing second in the AFC West. Chargers went 11-5. That's okay. RG3 won MVP. Wow. Well, Percy Harvin had a decent season. 1,300 receiving yards, 165 tackles for Bobby Wagner. Gerald McCoy put up 10 sacks. Andrew Luck went for over 3,700 passing yards. Tom Brady led the league in passing yards. Adrian Peterson in rushing yards. Roddy White, heck of a season too, a yard shy of 1,700. Clay Matthews, 23 sacks. Donald Butler had 188 tackles. And Brandon Flowers with 9 picks. I want to see individual stats. I don't even think you can see that here. How is that possible? View your team stats for the season. I saw league stats. I say we probably sort by team there. Yeah, you can. Things used to be poorly optimized. Andrew Luck needed to be a lot better, though. Rushing. Wow, 2.7 yards per carry for Noshawn. Well, Ben Bones should change things. Antonio Brown at over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, led the team. And then defensively, we need to put more pressure on the quarterback, I would say. 10 sacks for McCoy, 9 for Darrell Washington. Our defensive ends got, quite literally no pressure at all. Not many tackles either. I think changing the defensive playbook could be key to our success. That'll at least be a start. But our offense needs to be better as well. I think the defense was overall fairly successful, but the offense, I mean, looked terrible. Offensively, Seattle went 4-12, so it was definitely a good move. But our offense was bottom 10 of the league, it looked like. And then defensively, our defense was around top 10. So the game has actually really screwed me on this, by the way. Ben Bones is no longer in the scouting pool, which means he went back to school. I get it, but frustrating. So I'm going to have to do another season after this as well. So we'll probably do 3 overall and painstakingly go through every single week one by one. And there's going to be nobody in free agency because it was a fantasy draft. All the good players have signed deals. So it's just punters and kickers. William Hayes is here. Ray Lewis is here. Interesting. William Hayes actually wouldn't be that bad. I'm going to save my cap, though, because we might need it in a year or two. So I'm trying to decide who to go with. I could go back to the video I made on Madden 25 and just find out who's really good. But that feels like cheating. Ooh, nope. Now, I did see that this corner, Ofisa Sai, very good. Except has 83 speed. So slow, but so great otherwise. Oh, wait, maybe he was just sorted by unscouted. No, Ben Bones is still here. All right, cool. His dev trait should be really good. We looked at that earlier? We didn't, right? Let's see it. Star. I feel like, is that the best you can get? Probably. 95 stiff arm. Yeah, Ben Bones is the guy. Unless he disappears, which has happened before. I think that happened in the Madden 25 video I made. But we're good. We're back on track. Yeah, there's Ben Bones. Is he going first? Or yeah, so he says he's going with his first love of football. Expects to go number 1 overall. And he's supposed to be Bo Jackson. Yeah, so I think there is a way where he goes and plays baseball. Because, again, I think it happened in the Madden 25 video I made. Also, there are about 1 billion stories about Arkansas State's Leon Wright. All right, so they're really telling us about this Arkansas State corner. What is his name? He is all the way down in the 5th round, but he's supposed to be sick. So I'm interested. All right, that's a pretty good start, actually. But I don't have a 3rd or a 4th round pick. I think I have my 2nd still, though. But I need to find a way to get up to number 1. All right, so let's go to this corner. Short price scouted. Leon Wright, please don't be slow. He's got B speed. Don't love that, but he's got 1 billion stories. Surely he's going to end up being good. Also, how many stages of the offseason are we going to see? 8? All right, finally to the 2014 NFL Draft. We're going to take Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, and Odell Beckham Jr. That's my plan. All right, we got to pause this. I cannot let the Dolphins... Oh, we got the number 2 pick, by the way. So it should be fairly easy as it goes to get up to this number 1 pick. And I don't really want to do it in here because I feel like it's gonna be declined, or they're like, oh, wait for whatever. Oh, Gerald McCoy's up to a 93. Overalls have changed a little bit. Bobby Wagner, 97. D-Wash, 93. John Beeson's down a bit. We could use help at corner, for sure. I will give you no Sean Marino. They have no interest in no Sean. They have no Sean interest. That was too easy. Horrible. I'll give you a first, number 2, and I'll give you a 2nd next year. That should be accepted. I don't want the trade to be pending. I need it to be accepted. So I'm just going to have to go make it happen. Like, it's cool that they want to simulate the draft experience and you just don't know right away. Oh, I guess you would if you propose a trade. They're not just going to be like, we'll get back to you. So they have really no interest in this. I will give them 2 first-round picks to get Ben Bones and really not feel badly about it. No interest in the trade is insane. That they have 0 interest. What about this? 2 1s. No interest? Dude, you're moving down 1 spot. They don't know how good Ben Bones is. I do. Okay, now they're slightly interested. This is going to be so difficult to get. All right, I had to add in Emmanuel Sanders. The CPU trade generator or trade logic at this time really loves players, and they don't know anything about the picks. So it took throwing in Emmanuel Sanders, but I am taking a running back at number 1, and my reasoning is it's a different time. Okay, I'm taking the best player, and that is Ben Bones. He is a monster, and there really is no other pick I can make other than drafting Ben Bones, who is just a stud. I'll turn up this explanation.
They both won the Heisman. They both played football and
the
baseball.
music is so loud,
They both were highly sought after athletes. Once Bones committed to the NFL, every team tried to get in position to draft him, and it was this team that stepped up and took him.
It was this team.
Smart move. He's a devastatingly talented physical specimen who can run over defenders and run around them. A great, great pick.
All right. Hopefully you guys heard that well enough, but either way, that was the only pick we could make, really. It had to be Ben Bones at 1-1. Okay, let's go ahead and take the corner. We saw so many stories about him. I mean, I'm imagining he's available here. We're going to take him early, Leon Wright. I saw so many stories. He better be good. Otherwise, I got baited. He had like 3 different stories. That's the end of the draft for me. But it is cool. I talked about it in the Madden 15 video, so I don't want to stay on it too long. But it is cool that they actually had guys like Adam Schefter come in and record audio about, you know, the made-up draft players. But they can still do that with the auto-generated classes, but they could be a little bit more vague, right? And have them talk about certain archetypes, have a few different audio lines for certain archetypes or certain backstories. It's like, yeah, this player excelled in one of the best conferences in football or in college, because I don't know if they can say the SEC or whatever. So say something like that, or this is arguably the best press corner in the draft, something like that. Like, that's so vague, so broad. I'm sure it would get old, but to the average player playing franchise for the first time hearing that, they'd be like, oh, Tam, that's really cool. And yeah, it would get old, but if you're going to draft the same archetype every time, it's to be expected. Let's see some overalls. Ben Bones is an 86, and Leon Wright is a 79. That is as much as I could hope for. Ben Bones being an 86 overall coming out, and that could be even higher, by the way, if I change the scheme, because right now it's at receiving back, and he's not going to be receiving back. But 98 acceleration, Leon Wright is 89. 88 agility, Leon Wright actually is higher, and awareness, and the same ball carrier vision pretty much, although they have the same block shed. 95 carrying for Ben Bones, Leon Wright is 92. 84 catching traffic, 79 catching, 92 catching for Leon Wright. Dude, this Leon Wright guy, 86 hit power, who did I draft? This guy seems incredible. 95 juke for Ben Bones. Like to see that. He has 57 man coverage even. 83 for Leon Wright. And zone coverage is nowhere near. Personality, 99. It's you know, Bo Jackson. Of course he's going to have that. 90 pursuit for Leon Wright. 77 press. They both have 73 release. Leon Wright even has a little bit of route running to his game. 80 for Ben Bones, who has 85 spectacular catch. Only 90 speed. And Leon Wright has 80 speed. That's pretty bad. 95 spin, 95 strength. Is he a safety? I don't even know what to do with this dude. I gave him 62 throw power. Ben Bones, or Bo Jackson had a hose. 95 trucking is pretty good, though. That's pretty good for a player first coming out. But I don't know what to do with this corner. He is so slow. But hopefully that means he's good enough in other ways to make up for that lack of speed. Ben Bones is balanced. And the corner, because he could be CB too, is balanced as well, which I think it's already set to. Okay, so what is the new overall Ben Bones? Down to an 83. Huh. Little weird. But he should be a beast. That's an incredibly high overall for rookie anyway. And I'm really excited to see what he's capable of. I need this offense to step in a gear, though. And I'm really hoping this will be the season. Need Robert Quinn and Chandler Jones to step up, that's for sure. Oh, and Sheldon Richardson up to an 81 overall at D-tackle. Yeah, that is certainly the move. I don't know how these overalls fluctuate as much as they do, but as long as they fluctuate in a good way, I'm in. I'll see you guys, I don't know, it's at some point during the season, I bet. We did not make the playoffs. Andrew Luck, top 10 in passing yards. Percy Harvin, over 1,200 receiving yards. B-Wags had a bunch of tackles. A Crow with 6 picks of his own. Unfortunately, it just wasn't good enough. We went 7-8-1, but it is what it is. We are steadily improving, which is nice. So we're about to put things together. Also, I should show you the updated team because the new overalls are pretty crazy. I've been training these guys. It takes about an hour. Bobby Wagner up to a 99. Percy Harvin, 97. Eric Berry, 97. Tony Cromartie, 96. Gerald McCoy, 96. Ben Bones is a 96 overall. Now, most of his attributes have not changed at all, but what I have upgraded is awareness to an 85 and ball carrier vision to 85, and that takes his overall up to a 96. So 2 useless stats if you're actually playing with him. Those do not do anything if you're actually playing. So his true overall in terms of talent is like a 99 overall right out of the draft. Like, that's the best player you can get. But we'll pretty much, and no one's going to be there in free agency. Like, it might be slightly better, but still probably no one good. So we'll see if I want to do anything in free agency or re-sign some of my guys. But the focus might just be trading for somebody that's going to be a real difference maker. I don't know what our true biggest flaw is, and I don't know how the game works to be successful at the time. Melvin Ingram had 25 sacks. Luke Kuechly, 8 picks. Holy cow. But I need to figure out ways to be successful on offense and defense. The MVPs are wild. Reggie Bush was the Offensive Player of the Year for the NFC. Patrick Willis was the Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC. They would do both in Madden at this time. Navarro Bowman for the AFC, so 2 Niners linebackers. And then CJ Spiller won league MVP. Wild stuff. The Bucks did pretty well. Do I just go Cowboys offense? I mean, they went 13-3, man. Cowboys offense, and then, I mean, the Titans defense was on another planet. How are they so good at limiting yards? Also, this was a guy I did not expect to see. Marvin Austin was the Giants' second-round pick, I guess in 2013, right? And, or something like that. 2011. That makes sense why he's 26. He was so bad. But in this game, he's an 88 overall, and he's only 26 years old. Sounds like somebody I want to sign, and we have a bunch of cap space. So we can make this happen easily. Oh, Rodney Hudson's only 26. This is not Ernie Sims. Who is this? Eugene Sims. Ah, I forgot about him. So he's really not expensive at all. Definitely a good move to make. I mean, it might even be better to go after Gino Gradkowski. I think that would be okay. Same overall, just a bit younger. Is he significantly more expensive? Market value puts him just over 2 mil. I'll hold on Rodney Hudson. So it didn't show me in actions for some reason, but at the same time, we did get Marvin Austin, and we did get Rodney Hudson. Now, I didn't check the overalls. Jason Kelsey has improved a lot. He's an 89 overall now. So I should have checked, and I would have known that center wasn't a huge issue. However, we need depth pretty badly. And I don't even know where to improve. Like, our receivers are great. Tyler Eifert's coming along. Our offensive line, for the most part, looks really good. Our defense, for the most part, looks really good. Left outside linebacker looks weak, but keep in mind, like, we got Darrell Washington. We just need depth, and I think the biggest need for this team is a big-time CB2. So that's what I'm looking to do, is upgrade at that position, and maybe that'll be the difference between some of our failures turning into successes at this point. I'm trading a 3rd-round pick And DeMarcus Van Dyke for Cortez Allen, who I saw in the trade block. 86 overall, 26-year-old corner. It is an upgrade. It's not a huge one, but it's an upgrade. I'm trading a first this year and a fourth next year for a first and a fourth, or no, first and a third next year from the Texans, who I expect to be bad. And I'm going to let the CPU handle this draft. I have no first-round pick this year. I just needed them to fill out my roster. So this video, unfortunately, is going to have a really crappy ending. But I have the original Xbox 360. Came out in like 2005. I'm playing Madden 25. And it froze. And unfortunately, I have to play offline because there are no online leagues. And the franchise file, I never saved an individual one because I thought I would do it all in one take like I always do. And because it froze, I don't have the file. So that, unfortunately, is completely gone. There's obviously no online league. There's no offline file. So, again, unfortunately, that is where I have to leave you guys. Now, the whole point of the video was the fantasy draft. And we did kind of rebuild the team a little bit, right? But, yeah, guys. Really unfortunate way to end this video. I think we did build a really good team. Just, obviously, no playoff success, unfortunately. But we built a really good team. It definitely was a lot of fun. But I've been recording for over 5.5 hours. And simulating week by week is enough to make me, well, maybe it won't be too specific. But it is frustrating. But that's where I'm going to go ahead and call it. I appreciate you guys watching. It was fun regardless, right? But hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you're not blue-balled too badly. And I will see you in the next one.